360 understanding, get to know conversation with our guests. And today we're joined by a controversial blogger. Love him, hate him. He says it as it is. He appears to always be spoiling for a fight. I don't know whether he'll get into one with me this morning, but I'm honored to have Robert Alai with me in studio. Thanks for joining us.
Asante.
So there are many people who watch you and, you know, say, this guy, Yani, him is just beef.
No, I don't have beef with anybody. I just like to focus on the side where nobody tried to focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah, to get the side of the coin which everybody's trying so hard to hide. Yeah, that's my only beef with them.
So were you always like that as a kid? Like
yes,
imagine in the hood.
Yes, from primary school, from secondary. That's
So what would happen, like if you're in school with kids, if something? Are you the guy who'd tell on the other kids to the teacher?
No, I wouldn't call myself a snitch. Yeah, but you know, I was very rebellious in primary school, in secondary school. You know, it even led me sometimes on 1 year to not go to school for a whole year because of you know, being rebellious. So I'm used to that. Yeah.
So you are a rebel.
I'm not a conformist.
You're not a conformist.
Yes, I'm not a conformist.
So is it always like something in you that you always feel you need to be on the opposite side?
No.
Question every time everything is going a certain way. You always think and imagine there will be something off.
You know, the society is a bit dishonest, especially the Kenyan society. So you try to check on the side which nobody, especially the people presenting to you, you know, what they call facts, is trying to hide. So that side always asks questions.
Okay.
You know, not that the side I support, I agree with, but I just want them also to be listened to. You know, this is a policeman, a journalist doing his job, you know, everybody, you know, a teacher working somewhere, including the teachers now being forced to go back to Northeastern. It's completely wrong.
And we'll talk more about some of these issues that you're very vocal about, also that you're involved in. But who's Robert? Where were you born? You have siblings?
First, Robert is a generation name. So you in this Nairobi, especially, I think in Nairobi only, you'll find like 10 to 20 Roberts. Robert Alai.
Robert Alai.
Yes, it's the name of my grandfather. So many of us were named after him because he was a very proud, loud, and braggart, you know. So
like you?
I'm not a braggart, but I'm proud and loud.
Okay.
So but you have Robert. You have. I was born in Njiko location. I was born in Kisumu district then, but in Njiko location, Kobongo village, Boya, Ahero.
Hey, Kabisa.
Yes,
went to school there.
Yes, I went to school there. I'm a village boy from you know, looking after cattle. I go to village almost every month. Yeah. So because I'm still a village boy.
So what would you get up to? What mischief? You know, there's
a lot of mischiefs. You know, climbing on top of mango trees to steal mangoes from the Jiranis, going to look after cattle and leaving them, and going to watch movies in the market center. You know, a lot of mischief. You know. And fishing.
Would you do that?
Fishing, you know, the kind of fishing we do is a bit unique. It's not this one of tying the rod. No. This one is in our kind of fishing is called lupo, where you go as a community and you go and catch fish. You know, some of them you spear them. You know,
so you go in there and start feeling.
No. Women, you go with something which is a kind of, I don't know how you call it in English, but it's kind of a basket where you go and funica it with the fish. This is very shallow rivers, you know, it's not so deep. River Nyando is not so deep. It's not such a deep river, you know, especially when the water level is down. When it's raining, it's a bit much more dangerous. But when it's the level of water is down, then you can fish and you can spear. The men go to spear and you go as a community. So those when you go look after cattle, you do a bit of fishing. The kind of mischief of playing football. And my dad used to be very strict, so you don't do two things. You either focus on looking after the cattle, or you go play football. Yes.
So growing up, what did Robert want to become? You know, kids grow up like, I want to be a pilot, I want to be a doctor. What was
I wanted to be a journalist.
Oh, really?
Until technology arrived. and
what inspired that? What made you want to be one?
You know, I just wanted to tell stories. My dad used to come home when we were young, from primary school, and he forced us to read newspaper for him. Sometimes he pretend that he has left his spectacles in the office.
So you read out loud.
So you read out loud. And you know, you'll be corrected. Like, you know, like I always watch Betty Kiala, you know, with that guy from Kisumu doing the corrections.
Yes.
It's not sword, it's sword.
Yeah.
My dad would do the same. You know, the same. The guy is just making the corrections. My dad would, you know, yeah. So it's a bit much more from inborn from what my dad was making us to be. But when the technology arrived, I think in the 90s, and I saw the story of Wakina Kukubo, Paul Kukubo. You remember the 3 Mice story? Yes. And it appeared, I think, in the Standard. Yeah, so when I read that story, I said, no, it's very interesting. You know, the 3 Mice, the technology, and just follow the story of Bill Gates. Then I went to technology, and yeah. So I came and joined the African Virtual University at the Kenyatta University. Then later went to Kenya School of Monetary Studies. Yeah, then now I'm at the USIU.
Yes, I follow you on Instagram. I saw you put up a picture of your badges from
yeah, you know, because everybody was thinking I go to Nairobi Aviation. So
so you are trying to clarify and set the record straight.
I never went to any change. My dad would not allow that.
So monetary studies. After that, what did you get into in terms of
I went to the United Nations. I worked in Tanzania. I went to work with at least 3, 4, 5 companies. Then later went to the United Nations where I finished working. That was my last employment.
Yeah.
From 2006 to now.
What are you doing for UN?
I was doing logistics. You know, basically asset tracking. You know, things like that in the Eastern Congo. Yeah. Yes.
Are you in Sudan as well?
No, Sudan, no. I went to Sudan, I think, on loan like 1 month. Yeah. But mostly I was at the MONUC. It was then called MONUC. Now it's called something like MONUSO. Yeah. The peacekeeping in Congo, they changed the name.
Did you ever try to get into mainstream media and it didn't work out? Maybe
I tried to get on radio, you know, because I wanted to get on radio. You know, I thought radio would be very interesting. But I just wanted to go on radio and enjoy myself, because it was very inspiring to see, you know, Eve D'Souza. Yes. Yes. I was a strong fan of because I like hip hop. So I was a very strong fan of the show, and you know, listening to Nameless, Nameless kujitokeza, and up to now seeing him grow, you know, it was very big.
So why didn't you get into it?
You know, you don't have connections, you can't get in.
Are you suggesting everyone on radio has connections?
Very, you know, very much.
No.
Tell me who has not connections.
I didn't have connections to get to where I've gotten.
I don't know about that, but you know.
You imagine everyone on TV and radio has connections. Is that how they got to where they are?
Radio, you know, Kenya is a bit, I told you this, Kenya is a bit of a dishonest society. You know, I've got stories if I start telling you here now. You know, people bring me stories which even if you hear now, you'll just run mad, you know. So sometimes you have to leave.
It may happen in 1 or 2 cases, granted, but it's
many
not
cases. They're very lucky ones. You know, I've listened to the story of this lady of Citizen. She's called from Mombasa. And then she's called. Yeah, I listened to the story on Mzazi William Tuva's radio show, and I think that one is a very unique case. I listened to the story, I think, of one of the KTN presenters, and even the story of Edith Kimani we followed from the presenter,
from the presenter, which is back.
Yeah, you know, So you know, we have the few lucky cases, but most of them. Connections. Connections. I can tell you.
But his talent does speak for itself.
What is talent? You know, if you say that one is the top talent you have in the country and you have not tested others, I can tell you there are thousands and thousands of Kenyans who make great radio presenters. Yeah. But they just don't know who to talk to.
I would disagree. I would highly disagree with that. Did you watch the auditions for the presenter? Did you see?
No, this time I didn't watch. I don't know how I missed it, but I need to watch it. I think it's on YouTube.
Because that's just the opportunity of giving all of those Kenyans you're talking about that opportunity.
But you know how many KTN can present can take up. You know, if it was done by all the media houses, then they can choose from. You know, from the people, from the top candidates. It was very interesting, but you know, KTN can only take so few.
Have you given up on radio now, or do you still hope to get
I hope that one day I'll get on radio.
What kind of a show would you host?
Now?
Would it be Robert Alai discloses? Robert Alai investigates?
No, I don't. I'm not an investigator. You know, I'm like the ombudsman. I'm, you know, like somebody you come to report your problem, then we see how we get a solution. And you know, the same thing which I was trying to do with the Nairobi Aviation. Now I'm being called.
Yeah, let's talk about that. And by the way, Jeff Kwenange is saying, Salimia Sana Alai and tell him thanks for the suggestion for JKL. Nashukuru sana.
Yes.
Suggestion gani you?
I got a very nice, very great classmate. Very inspiring lady who is doing a lot of works with the albinos, albinism, trying to help the, the people who are suffering the condition. So I suggested to Jeff and told him that maybe you can
bring those interviews as well our way.
Yeah,
other than Jack, even us here we do inspiration.
I was seeing you guys interview a businessman. Then I thought of there's a businessman. There are businessmen I know in this country. Yeah. Who nobody has ever talked to.
Yeah.
But
who have inspirational stories.
You could
and we love to share
from grass to grace, and you can't believe their stories.
Yeah, because it's amazing, some of the things people go through to get to where they are, and that's why we take that time to share those stories. But you've mentioned this Nairobi Aviation. Let's get into that a little.
Yes.
So what's your beef? Because you've been accused. First, let me read for you a tweet. You had an exchange with Mr. Linus Kaikai. So you had tweeted out and said, I am not a Nairobi Aviation College, will never be even a staffer, but opposed witch hunt. I love honesty. And you said NTV is not. And Linus replied to that and said, you tried to intervene on the college's behalf earlier today with a call to me, earn your keep, but don't invoke honesty, a lie. So suggesting that you had been paid off, you are trying to make interventions before this story aired, that you spoke to Dennis Okari. In fact, there's a clip on social media that's on the internet of a conversation allegedly between you and Okari. What's going on there?
I think NTV has their issues. First Linus Kaskai, it goes way back. It goes way back. This dishonesty. You can't start talking about his dishonesty.
But let's focus on this one.
It can be very exposed. The problem that he brought himself into the picture. And I talked to Linus Kaikai.
Did you call him?
I called him. I hope that you would produce the clip also. I hope that you would produce the clip from Emmanuel Juma, because I talked to Emmanuel Juma also.
So why were you calling them?
These people, like you can call me and tell me, Robert, this is happening to me, and I believe it's so unfair. If Nairobi Aviation sought the interview to be heard, it is very wrong for NTV to have run the clip. It is so wrong without them listening to Nairobi Aviation.
But again, you were calling.
Again, if I produce the clips which I have, NTV can go down in a bad way.
What clips do you have?
I talk to people at KTN and at NTV in confidence, and I've never mentioned them since they, because I believe that we talked in confidence, let it remain in confidence.
Talked about what?
The whole Nairobi Aviation. The clip was never done by NTV. Even check the timestamp at 1940 on the clip, which Okari is doing the investigation. At 1940, check the timestamp on the video. This thing was done way before this. It was done by KTN, but KTN sought not to run it because they say that we're not getting the facts. It's being sponsored by a competing college.
Who did it at KTN?
Abdul Rahman and Peter Mutemo of the Jitopevu. They know about this. Talk to them. They know it.
So
and they confessed. They even told, it's recorded on clip. They even told them that we gave the clip to NTV. So Dennis Okari...
So you have a recording of them confessing that?
Dennis Okari, in all his geniusness, which made even run away from a very great media like BBC, want to tell us that he can do a very detailed investigative piece about Nairobi Aviation and the fake things in 1 month or in 2 weeks, because what has happened in the country since December.
All right.
We are still very early in the year, but I can tell you this for a fact, that it's very unfair to Nairobi Aviation. Myself, I don't believe in fake colleges. I believe that William Ruto was the best person to correct that. We have very many fake, even from Nairobi University, even the public universities. If you go to the public universities now, you get banners, people advertising to do assignments for students. Why are we having those in our universities?
All right, so back to my question simply is this.
Yes.
Why are you trying to stop the airing of that story?
Yes.
Why are you paid by this college to ensure it does not air?
No.
Then why would you try to stop something you hadn't watched and you did not know if they'd had a fair hearing? You claim they told you they'd not been heard.
There's a court
Where did you get the injunction
They
from?
sent to me.
Why were they sending it to you?
They thought, I told you I'm an ombudsman. I'm a mediator. When there's a conflict. And this is where I come in. Why is it easy that when a policeman who is at a weighbridge in Gilgil send me a clip, nobody question, why did they send you that? But when a college sends me, why did they send you that? So tomorrow, Sophia...
That's a clip. This is a court injunction. So one would imagine if they actually had this court injunction, they would have supplied and served or given it to this media house to ensure they do not...
So I asked, basically...
So are you saying then
they ignore, and there are principles of impunity which they have been running themselves away from.
Those are allegations you're making. Of course, they're not here to defend themselves.
The problem is that... Listen. The media house, the old media house, NTV, Daily Nation, Nation FM, is now focused on Robert Alai. It's now not about the bad degrees or the bad certificates. It's very funny how I scare Nation. It's so funny.
You think you scare them?
I think I scare. If our old media house can focus, Robert Alai is so inconsequential, you focus on him, then there's a problem with the story you ran. There's a problem.
So you're saying, before we move away from this topic, you were never paid
I was never paid. People. And let me ask you one thing.
You are doing it from the willingness,
let me ask you one thing.
The kindness of your heart.
It's good for Okari to be paid.
That's an allegation. Do you have proof?
Do they have proof that I was paid? Why is their allegation so holding water?
It's a question that's been posed.
I'm also asking a question. I'm asking a question. Okari to be paid to run a negative story about a college, because we know college. There's Dust to Dawn. There's Kilemi Mwiria's USC who accredited those colleges.
After you watched that piece, you still have issues with it?
Very strong issues. It is one-sided, it is wrong. Just the way I opposed KTN running the Kanyari story. I believe Kanyari is wrong. I believe
Kanyari did not have an opportunity to defend himself. Did he not have a
Kanyari, he had an opportunity to defend himself. The only thing which I asked KTN, and with John Alam, and the good thing with John Alam is that he took it in good faith.
So what did you ask?
I asked him that, why are you focusing on Kanyari? We know 20 others who are running. Why didn't we do a whole piece?
But as a journalist, isn't good journalism, because perhaps you imagine you have, say, 20 minutes, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes, yes, even 1 hour.
Then you focus on one person?
No, listen.
Yes.
You bring out all aspects of that one story, which then gets the conversation going, which gets people more careful, more, looking into issues in a better way. How do you feel of course, there are numerous issues, not only in Kenya, across the board. So you'd have it that in one piece, all churches are covered. That's what would pass as
the title was very confusing. I think the title didn't mention Kanyari. If it was titled that Kanyari the Con, I would have, supported, because it was about Kanyari. But this one, you present a piece claiming to investigate fake churches. Then you focus on one church. It is not about churches. It's one church. Then tell us it's one church. Tell us it's Kanyari.
The clip did not say it's all the churches.
Yes.
It did not in any way suggest all churches are that way.
What is the title of the clip? What is the title of the clip? If you can remember the title of the clip, give us the title of the clip.
The title of the clip does not matter.
The problem I have with this, and the good thing is that Moha and Jonala Namu,
yes,
they took this conversation, and that's why they said that this NTV piece, this which Okari ran, we can't run it because we are going to focus on one. Let us do a detailed piece, and because the sponsor of the clip wanted the clip to run immediately, so that when the results of KCSE comes out in February, students would have made their mind that they are not going to join Nairobi Aviation. Then that's why it was pushed to run now.
So what do you make of the protests from the students?
The students had a right to protest. The only thing which I oppose is them going to destroy the property of nation. It's so wrong. And I called the guy I was talking to at Nairobi Aviation. I told them that it's very wrong. It's very, very wrong to go and destroy properties, because you're now giving the NTV's piece a credibility that and I believe there are many wrong bad colleges here. I taught at a college in this town with a Form 4 certificate. I taught postgraduate.
You were teaching
postgraduate human resource development at DALC, that college. I taught, and I told Nairobi Aviation, I know you have issues about the credibility. I know Nairobi Aviation had issues. Even now, I believe that they are wrong in a way. But targeting them the way NTV did So wrong.
All right, again, we just want to clarify everything that's been said on the show this morning. His views definitely do not represent mine, those of Morning Express, those of the Standard Group media. We must just ensure we set the record straight.
Yes.
And of course, that these people are not here to defend themselves, even as you make these allegations. So for you, at the end of the day, it is not about a story being told. It's always looking out for what else was missing, what could have been done better, what extra mile.
Yes, and we should have such a person. You know, anybody, the Kenyan society, especially, you know, us, you know, we have been made to love shortcuts. So everybody wants a shortcut in everything, and it's very wrong. So when you try to question, sometimes you get a lot of stones thrown your way, and I don't mind that. You know, I don't.
But do you find that many of the times what you say and put out there is allegations, and a lot of some would look at it as malice without proof, without evidence?
You know, anybody can call it allegation because of where it depending on where they stand on this. I get many people who, you know, who commend me, who get justice because of what I do. You know, from a wrong policeman to a wrong teacher to a wrong worker somewhere, even including the CEOs. You know, including the government employees, including very senior government employees who just come and complain, and we ask one question, and you know, everybody gets, you know, even including people working in State House, where we say that, you know, you cannot wrong somebody. We don't believe that sometimes somebody is doing wrong to you, he might not know that he's doing wrong to you, you know, because you might not have the voice to complain. Or if you complain, like in the disciplined forces, if you complain, it will be taken as you're disloyal. So you know, you have to get somebody else to complain for you.
All right. So you also got into trouble with the president, and how far is that? Remember, you in handcuffs, being taken to court, being charged in custody as well, undermining
I don't
the
think
president.
I don't think it was the president. I believe it's people close to the president who are getting issues.
But to call the president an adolescent president, why would you call him that?
Listen, the president during Jamhuri said that critics who are criticizing him wawache utoto na ujinga. What is utoto in English? You know, don't make things right. When the president says them, it's right, but when I say them, it's wrong. Adolescents, you were adole, hata nikwambia wewe una adole mingi sana. You know, it's the same thing I'm saying. I'm not calling the president an adolescent. He knows that I can't call him an adolescent.
But I'm just
saying.
Did you not call him that?
I'm just telling the president that, you know, he's the president of everybody, including us who oppose him. You know, us who oppose some of his policies.
But you said you did not call him that, yet you did. So why did you? Because you believe he's not what?
No, I believe that it was wrong to insult the opposition. You know, he didn't realize that some of the opposition members were at the Jamhuri celebration. So I think he was very angry with them and believing that they're ignoring all the time, you know. And, you know, he was very right to be angry. But as a president, and that's why I also oppose Mike Kibaki with the Mavia Kuku all the time. You know, I say that you're the president. There are things which Alai can get away with, but you who are the president can't get away with.
So you, two wrongs then make a right, because he did it, you do it as well?
No. Him as the president
should not do
it.
But you can do it.
It's very uniting.
So there are more freedoms for you to describe and talk to anybody, call them whatever you like.
There are more freedom for me to criticize the president. There are not more freedom for... I'm not insulting the president. You know, I've never insulted the president. You know, I want to go the way some of the people go and insult him in a very bad way. You know, the people who hate me so much because they believe that, you know, I have some magical power to scare them, would want to create the illusion that I hate the president and would insult him all the time. In fact, I think I was one of the first people who supported the president, Raila Odinga, who said that let the president be. Yes. But what he has to realize is that we are watching him. Any misstep amefanya, tutamwambia.
But why then post the phone number of the president and his aides?
He posted himself. Have you checked the clip you guys ran when the
You did not post the president's number. Not on that question. Did you or did you not, Robert?
This matter is in court.
Yours.
This matter is in court.
Okay.
So I might not comment to a certain extent. So, but I tell you, the president, when the prime minister came from Boston, you know, and he was calling for dialogue, and they went to Uhuru Park, the president said that my number has not changed. My number is still 072. If you go to Mzalendo website, you'll get the president's website number. The president's number is all over. Deputy President Ruto went to...
But that does not make it right, because Twitter has their policy and their rules. You do not post other people's private information.
Twitter suspended my account.
And then
when I produced a clip showing the president giving out his own number, including somebody even calling him, including even an MP calling him straight,
people call him. It is okay to call him. That does not mean you
his number is available. You know.
So you posted.
Did you ever see somebody posting calling President Kibaki? Because nobody knew his number.
Is that what you're going to use to substantiate you posting the number of the president and his aides, that nobody calls the former President Kibaki?
I don't think the president would want to.
Was it right, do you think, for you to do
that? Listen first one, Sophia. The president is very much reachable. The president wants to be reached. In fact, I think the president wants to open himself up more than his people want to open. When I was charged, when I went for mention, the charge was changed.
To what? What are you
charged? To undermining the authority of the Republic of Kenya. And you know, by definition, Robert Alai is the Republic of Kenya. Every citizen is the Republic of Kenya. So it was changed from undermining the authority of a public officer to undermining the authority of the Republic of Kenya. Which, you know, still raises a lot of questions. You know, what you want to charge me. And the funny thing is that this charge is now being used in almost everybody. You know, somebody laugh in front of the policeman, undermining the authority of a public officer. You know, somebody jump around, undermining. You know, it's. So
how far is the process? Where are you at?
Myself?
Yes, in
the
terms
hearing
of
has not started.
Has not started.
Yes, yes.
Is it in April?
You want to come?
Checking.
The hearing is in April. It would be very good to see you in Kiambu, by the way.
Why was it taken? Where Kiambu?
No, Kiambu is closer to CID headquarters. So
okay.
People think that it's far, but you know, Kiambu CID headquarters is closer to Kiambu. Considering the traffic, it's very much close. It's just 5 minutes to